What's good, everybody? BDJ here. Let's talk about Jey Uso. He wins his first singles belt on the main roster. He's been there for over a decade, and he finally gets the gold Intercontinental Championship. Excellent main event. I mean, him and Braun Breaker went at it. It's about a 20-minute main event. Sometimes I've complained in the past about Raw, being 3 hours, and they still don't really give the main event a lot of time. This was not one of those nights. Gave him a ton of time, a lot of cool spots. The chemistry was off the charts between these two. Both these guys can put on fantastic matches. I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. If you've seen Braun in NXT and some of his main roster matches, you know how good of an athlete, good of a wrestler Braun Breaker is. And then Jey Uso, I mean, we all know between the Usos and him as a solo, he's pretty good in the ring. I know there's some fans who call him mid in the ring, but he's had some good matches. Him against Priest, I liked earlier this year. He's had some good matches. So Jey gets his moment. The moment Rikishi and a lot of the audience has been asking for. He finally gets the singles title. There's really not much of a reason to say he doesn't deserve it. I mean, he's over. He's proved he can be a solo act without his brother. Like, good for Jey, man. I hope he has a successful reign. But does this mean War Games plans have changed? That's one thing I wonder. Are they still going to put Jey in the Bloodline War Games with him being Intercontinental Champion? Or are they going to have him defend the title at the pay-per-view? That's something to keep an eye on. I'm sure they're going to give him a pretty decent reign. It does make me worry, though. Is Jimmy going to be able to make it? Does that alter the plans a little bit? Because we saw Rikishi, he's been talking a lot, obviously, but he said, prayers for Jimmy. So does that mean Jimmy potentially is not going to be able to be at War Games? Does he have something going on in his personal life? Does he have an injury? Does he have something going on that's keeping him from returning? Because he's been gone for a minute. So it really makes you wonder what's going on with Jimmy. Hopefully he's good and he's able to come back for War Games. That's just me speculating there, but that is something that crossed my mind as soon as Jey won. Is like, okay, is he still going to be in that match, or are they changing plans? So we'll have to see how the stories work out after Bad Blood and everything. But man, Braun Breaker losing this quickly, not that he hasn't had a okay title reign, but I just was shocked more that he lost, because I mean, he lost to Sammy and he's lost to Jey, and there's no shame in that, because I feel like WWE sometimes makes it where some of the wrestlers, men and women, they kind of make it where they hurt themselves by making them too unbeatable. I mean, they had reigns. I mean, if Cody wouldn't have came back, who would have beat that guy? Maybe The Rock. I mean, he had him clean out the locker room. Gunther, he didn't lose for many, many years. Rhea Ripley didn't lose a singles match for a few years. So WWE's, good or bad, been protecting a lot of wrestlers from taking pins. And I feel like this doesn't really hurt Braun because he looks strong. It took 2 finishes to beat him. It took 2 spears, 2 Uso splashes. Like, he didn't look weak at all. So I'm not really mad at Braun losing. I'm just surprised he lost. And I'm wondering what the direction is going to be going forward for Braun. Is he going to be in a big time feud? Is he going to be involved with something going in? Because he's not going to be on Bad Blood unless they put a rematch or something on there. But it looks like they're going to put Sammy and Gunther as the final match. We'll have to see how the next 2 weeks pan out for that. But I do wonder what the directions of Braun's going to be, and the Bloodline story, and how all that ties together and everything with Reigns and Cody. I predicted in our previous video, I think it's going to be Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa against the Usos, Sammy and Reigns, but it looks like Cody and Reigns will be teaming up. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But man, if Jimmy and Jey both ain't in it, that's going to be kind of upsetting, because I mean, I don't really know how else you set that match up if you don't have them in it. So hopefully they're both good to go. But this Raw was a good Raw. It wasn't like the greatest Raw of all time. I feel like the main event was obviously the show stealer. Much of the other show was kind of just them stalling a little bit, which Bad Blood's 2 weeks away. So I mean, I get it. But man, what a main event. Let me know what you guys thought about the main event. Are you guys a fan of long main events? Not that this main event was like a 30-minute classic or nothing, but it was a very, very good match. And the Intercontinental title under this Triple H regime has been so much more valuable. Even the U.S. title. They've just been, defended on regular shows more. He's been featuring them more in main events. Vince never really did that much, and it really hurt them titles. And I think there was a time where Vince didn't even put the U.S. title on for like 8 months on a pay-per-view or something. Like, just because they're mid-card titles doesn't mean they should be devalued because of the world titles. And I've always appreciated Triple H's love for the mid-card titles, and he showed that again tonight. He gave him a lot of time, let 2 guys go out there, put on a show for the audience. The crowd was hot. I do hate the what chance still, because I feel like American crowds always do the what chance to non-American wrestlers. Let me know if you guys agree with that take or not. It is very annoying, but man, Yeet Nation is upon us. Jey Uso is finally the Intercontinental Champion. I'm still almost in shock. But good for him, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I know the video is a little short, but just wanted to make a video about this. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe for more wrestling content. Peace.